The night my mom confessed our house wasn't really ours. I was 16 when it happened a summer night. So hot, the air felt like soup, and the fans just pushed the heat around. I'd fallen asleep on the couch downstairs when I woke up to the sound of my mom talking in the kitchen. At first I thought she was on the phone. Her voice was low and shaky, like she was trying not to wake anyone. But when I sat up, I realized she wasn't on the phone. She was talking to herself, pacing barefoot across the linoleum, her shadow stretched long and crooked under the dim kitchen light. I shouldn't have listened, but something in her tone froze me. I could hear her whispering words over and over. Not ours, never ours, we don't belong here. And then a laugh, but not the kind of laugh you give when you hear a joke. It was broken, like she'd cracked halfway through, holding back tears. I finally said, "Mom, who are you talking to?" And she spun around so fast her hair whipped across her face. She looked at me like she didn't recognize me. Then her eyes softened, and she sat down hard at the table. I remember the chair scraping against the tile and how her hands shook when she tried to light a cigarette. She never smoked in the house before that night. "You're old enough to know now," she said. "This house isn't ours. We've been living in someone else's life." At first I thought she was speaking in riddles or drunk, but she slid a folder across the table, old and yellowed with tape. Holding the corners together inside were documents, deeds, pictures, even letters written in careful cursive. Not by her, not by my dad. It was a different family altogether. The same house, the same address, but a family I'd never seen before. One photo made my stomach drop. It was of the living room we were sitting in right then, except the wallpaper was different, and the furniture was from the 70s. 3 kids sat cross-legged on the carpet, and one of them had my exact same eyes. I touched the photo and it felt like the world tilted sideways. I felt the sweat beat on my neck, the way my throat burned dry. She told me when she and my dad moved in, they never bought the place. They never signed for it. They just walked in one day and it was unlocked, furnished like the family had just stepped out to the store. They stayed the night, telling themselves it was temporary, but no one ever came back. And eventually they just kept living here and raising me inside someone else's home. As if it was theirs, I couldn't breathe. I kept flashing back to being little. I remembered the smell of lavender in the closet that never matched my mom's perfume. The faint names carved into the underside of the staircase that weren't ours. The faint hum I sometimes heard through the walls at night, like a TV on in another room. Even when hours were off, my hands went numb as she whispered, "Sometimes I think they never left." I stared at her cigarette smoke curling into the light, and all I could think about was the photo with the boy who had my eyes sitting in the exact same spot where I slept every night.